Hi, my name is Hugo Guerra and this is Hugo's Desk. Today a small break from the visual effects tutorials. It's no secret for those of you that know me that as much as a visual effects artist, I'm also a gaming aficionado and a huge horror fan. I just finished Resident Evil 7 and I really liked this game. So I wanted to make a short essay about its roots in horror filmmaking and wanted to talk about some of the multiple film references and Easter eggs present in the game. Resident Evil 7 is taking the world by storm, no doubt about it. Considered as a dead franchise by some, disconnected by its player base for almost a decade, Resident Evil goes back to its origins to redefine the genre once again. Back in the 90s, Silent Hill and Resident Evil created a world phenomenon called survival horror, and for the most part, Japan was leading the way for a very long time. Silent Hill's psychological terror, the graphic horror of Resident Evil 1 to 4, including my favorite one, Resident Evil Code Veronica. The dark atmosphere of Project Zero, the great Clock Tower games, it all looked like it was unstoppable. But then the Resident Evil franchise plateaued. Both Resident Evil 5 and 6 missed the point entirely. The tension was gone and the survival elements removed. The game had no soul, no weird nuances. In my view, they ignored decades of great horror cinema. The fear, the pacing, the atmosphere was lost. Scary moments were replaced by bullets and action sequences. The perfectly paced music was replaced by huge orchestral soundtracks. What was a weird and clunky Japanese scary game became a tired action film franchise. But then something happened in the most unlikely of places, the Nintendo 3DS, Resident Evil Revelations. It was a return to form, not really a game of the series, it was considered a spin-off, but it had the atmosphere of the Spencer Mansion on Resident Evil 1. This time, it wasn't a mansion, it was a ship called the Queen Zenobia. The industry was watching. And this success, together with Outlast, Alien Isolation, Slenderman, Amnesia, and many others, looked promising for the future of horror. This paved the way for Resident Evil 7. From the same director of Revelations, Resident Evil 7 is a kaleidoscope of the best horror cinema from the last 30 years. Here are a few of the many film references in the game. The first half of the game is one huge homage to the Chainsaw Massacre. As the player is moving forward discovering the Baker estate, we feel all the rust, the orange palette, the abandoned house, the silence, leaving the player with a sense of fear and mystery of what lies ahead. It's filmmaking on its truest form, the slow pace, the atmosphere, the few music riffs. We see a small silhouette in the distance, we don't know what it is, yet we continue. Then we see a ritual animal parts, and we become unease. It's a mishmash of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Evil Dead 1 and a little bit of True Detective. As we enter the house, we feel the dilapidated walls, we see the decaying fridge, we see the rotting food, we can almost smell it. It's almost like entering the first crime scene on David Fincher's 7. It is a textbook essay to horror. Then there is the tape mechanic, taking cues from the best found footage horror films. It has hints of The Ring, the Japanese version of course. The Ring's influence is not only present on the tape's mechanic, but its DNA is on every time we see a dark figure or a silhouette lingering on the old corridors of the Baker's mansion, making for some chilling moments. The VHS mechanic reminds me of David's Cronenberg Videodrome, where the main protagonist uses tapes to load or revisit events from a mysterious broadcast. It serves as a plot device to jump from player to player and to learn paths and puzzles not yet reached. Just like in Videodrome, the tape is a gateway to the future and the past. There's even a tape that is literally Saw the video game. And I mean, a better version of what was released on the PlayStation 3 era. Like in Saw, you have to solve a puzzle using strange objects, on a specific combination to set you free. It is brilliant. At some point, we even are a spectator at the baker's dining table, making full circle with the Chainsaw Massacre references. I mean, Resident Evil 7 is, at least on the first 3 hours, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the video game. Then there's the chilling moment you go downstairs and find your colleague against the wall. The DNA of the Blair Witch Project is present. And the list goes on as you go deeper and deeper into the game. There's even the story of the mutation of the family and Evelyn, full of references and notes from the very best and the most obscure horror cinema. The game reminds me of Possession, where Anna's body streams blood and liquid, almost melting. There are references to Alien, where Ethan Winters is stuck on what looks really like an alien's hive. References to Outlast, where you have an entire chapter where you have no weapons to defend yourselves. References to Alien Isolation, where you try to not get spotted by the baker's family inside the mansion, almost helpless to try to defend yourself. And of course, the influence of PT is so clear. From the photorealism approach to the graphics, the rain in the window, the sound design, the chromatic aberration. And then you have John Carpenter's The Thing. We see a mangled mess of creatures created by the juxtaposition of multiple pieces of bodies, limbs, eyes, and black goo. You even have Sam Raimi original Evil Dead, the hand being cut in the game, and the chainsaw sequences. The end credits, huge homage to David Fincher's 7 opening credits, with old newspapers and clippings edited together to show parts of the game that you just finished, together with the credits and the game's creators' names. Every single piece of this game was created by pure passion and love for horror filmmaking. The list goes on and on. Resident Evil 7 is a mishmash of the best horror films from the last 30 years. And this is great. It never seems forced, and it takes its inspirations to a great level. It is a game with soul, a game we won't forget anytime soon. Especially if you play it in VR. It's a truly scary experience in VR, proving once again that virtual reality is not a gimmick, but a completely immersive way to playing games. I believe as much as Resident Evil borrows from classical horror filmmaking, it also is set to make a mark and inspire new horror films on the years to come. They both go hand to hand, and one breeds and lives from each other's imagination. Resident Evil 7 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the video game. It is The Ring, Saw, the Blair Witch Project, and The Evil Dead, the video game. In conclusion, inspiration from the past is always the best way to move forward. If more games and films could learn to embrace the great filmmaking, I think projects like this, the revitalization of Resident Evil franchise, could pave the way to other struggling franchises. A few come to mind, but especially I'm thinking about Silent Hill, Dead Space, and Alone in the Dark. In an age of noisy entertainment, this is a subtle and humble start. Sometimes as I played Resident Evil 7, for a moment there, I thought I was playing Silent Hill. It is not as strong as Silent Hill 2 psychological horror, but it is the best horror game out right now. We welcome the return of psychological terror. We embrace it. I hope to see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.